Tony. He's Mike, and we are here today to do a quick and dirty take on Netflix's straight to Netflix movie Red Notice or Red List, depending on who you ask.
If you asked me 10 seconds ago, it was Red List, but I was wrong.
So it is a star-filled cast of wasted potential with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot.
Who's absolutely stunning.
But in a James Bond-esque thieving caper sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a weird combination of like Indiana Jones, James Bond, and
the Thomas Crown Affair.
And like yeah. Perfect.
Mike?
I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it at all. I was in for a I don't give a fuck mood last night. What it is, as long as it's mildly entertaining, I was mildly entertained. I mean, you've seen The Rock do this role a million times. You've seen Ryan Reynolds do a similar performance, although he's dialed back. For Ryan Reynolds, he's dialed back. Yeah, true. It's not a lot, but
he's turned down to 9. So,
which worked for me, because if it was like Deadpool Ryan Reynolds, I would have turned it off like fast. Because you had that movie 6 Underground. I turned that movie off in 5 minutes. It's like, nope, too much Ryan Reynolds. No.
This is Dead Puddle Ryan Reynolds. Right. It's not a pool.
No. Just a puddle. You get your feet wet, and that's about it. So, and you know, Gal Gadot, she's hot. I mean, is she like a great actress? She's serviceable. I mean, she's very, very easy on the eye. She has a very nice voice. I mean, she's like Sade on screen, but not as talented.
See, this movie, they should change it from Red Notice to Wasted Potential, and it really was, because they had this cast, and they're all really likable people, but no one here is acting. Like literally, it all felt so phoned in. It all felt so very it is The Rock doing The Rock shtick. It is Ryan Reynolds doing Ryan Reynolds shtick, and it is Gal Gadot doing Gal Gadot shtick. This is like, if you haven't seen any other movie that they've been in, then this might be entertaining, but they've done everything that's in this in other movies and better. To me, this was a waste of time. It was, I get what they were going for, but it's just one of those, like, this was obviously not a cheap movie. This was obviously an incredibly expensive movie.
Especially not with those 3 stars in it.
Yeah.
And all the locations that they were at. No, there's a lot of money in this fucking movie. But I think they accomplished what they're going for. I think they're trying to go for a lighthearted, family-friendly kind of movie, because I don't think there's really any cussing in this movie. There's no real outrageous sexual situations in this movie. It's very family friendly, and going based on that, I say it's a success. I mean, is it a good movie? Not really. No. I mean, no. It's not something I'm like gonna like recommend to like any film aficionado by any stretch. But for like somebody that has like, you know, like, I need something to watch on a Friday night because I'm like absolutely bored. I could give 2 shits, which was me last night. It fit the bill perfectly.
See, this is like one of those movies that it was designed to be product. You're absolutely right about that. It's all marquee value.
Yep.
And really, that's because who the hell do you know that knew this movie was even coming out? I mean, I don't recall ever seeing a trailer or a poster or anything about it. I mean, I heard more about Jungle Cruise than I heard about this. And
well, that's also Disney, you know.
Here's the sad thing, though, and here's kind of this is what bothers me about it. And I'm not going to fault The Rock or Ryan Reynolds or Gal Gadot or Gadot for taking the paychecks. You know, they've earned the privilege. That's all I'm going to say. But why bother with this much effort when it's just this mediocre? I mean, this is like legitimately like if somebody like walked into a movie studio and was like, we're going to make the perfect 5 film right in the middle. We're going to not really entertain people, but we're not going to offend anybody either. Throw money at me. And they did. Apparently, somebody bought off on this. Before you start, I just want to read you a couple of things. Okay, the guy's name is Rawson Marshall Thurber. Okay, that's who wrote and directed Red Notice. Now, here's the funny thing. His first notable film is a short film, and you'll remember this short film. He's the guy who did Terry Tate, Office Linebacker.
Stuff up in this Humpty Bumpy, you killed a Joe, you make some more. You know that, baby. Else you're in for a long day. A long day. Cause Triple T's up in this bitch.
I'm not familiar with this.
And then this guy did Dodgeball.
Okay.
And then he did nothing for a while, and then he did We're the Millers.
I like We're the Millers.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's genuinely a funny movie too. And then he did Skyscraper, which I haven't seen. I have no interest in.
Well, seems out of his wheelhouse, because that's not a comedy.
And then he did Red Notice, this movie. So this is a guy that has done some genuinely funny stuff. Mm-hmm. Like Dodgeball still cracks me up. I find that movie hilarious. Where the Millers still gets a giggle out of me. What the fuck happened to this? Because there's nothing in Red Notice that was anywhere near as funny as anything that I've seen in the other 2 films.
Then it's the fault in the casting. Should you have genuine comedic actors in these roles? The Rock. I mean, you could say he's a comedic actor, but he's not. Gal Gadot is not a comedic actor.
No.
Ryan Reynolds has his own special brand of comedy.
Yeah.
So now take that into context. If you recast this movie, is it better?
Yes. Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because I can tell you right now, the minute that Ryan Reynolds signed that contract was the minute that no matter what the fuck was actually written on the page, Ryan Reynolds was going to do his shtick.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it in a nutshell. Ryan Reynolds, and I'm not hating on Ryan Reynolds. I'm just saying that you can't tell me that what Ryan Reynolds was delivering was what was actually printed on the page. The Rock can deliver comedic lines. That's fine. If it's written, it's written. And there's some parts in Rampage that are laugh out loud funny. There's some genuinely good chuckles in that film. He does have the timing for it. I'm not going to hate on him for that.
He's better as a straight man, though.
Yeah.
He's a good straight man. Like in The Rundown.
And he's the straight man in that. And yet, weirdly, I'm going to even go one. You brought up The Rundown. That is the perfect parallel to this. The Rundown is a action comedy that's funny, genuinely funny. And that was actually the first movie that I saw with The Rock that I was like, okay, he's got this. He's got chops. He's fun to watch. He is an engaging, entertaining guy. I want to see more from this. And shit, that movie's 20 years old at this point? You want to recast this movie? Take Ryan Reynolds out, put Stifler in, and this movie is better. And I'm not saying that like lightheartedly, like genuinely. You put Stifler in as that know-it-all asshole who like, everything he does, he's snarky and sarcastic about, and yet somehow that would have elevated this material and made it more entertaining, I think.
Take razor! Take razor! Get ready for the pain, woman! The pain is coming! It's in there! Please don't hurt me! Please don't hurt me! Thank you, Ted! Thank you, God!
and I can't imagine anybody reading this script going, oh yeah, we got to throw money at this. It comes off like a poor man's Thomas Crown Affair. It comes off like a national treasure without the fun campiness of Nicolas Cage.
See, I hated National Treasure. I didn't like those movies at all. Nicolas Cage is not a Indiana Jones style actor. No, I don't buy him in that role. It's like what's his name? Tom Hanks in those
I can't remember the title of the first one, but I remember the books were huge.
Yeah,
and
but it's the Da Vinci Code character.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, no, Tom Hanks is not that guy. You are not suited to that role. Nicolas Cage is not suited to that role, that style of film.
See, and here's the thing I have an issue with, and this is where I'm going to talk directly about The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot, is that Dwayne Johnson is a likable guy, but he is like I have yet to see him act in anything. He plays himself in every role that he is. And while it's charming and captivating, after 15 years, it's a little thin at this point. And I'd actually like to see him bring something to a role other than I'm The Rock, because that's really kind of all he's doing. And I know that he can do it. I know he's got the range for it. I know he's got the depth for it. And I know he's got the charisma for it, but he hasn't done it. Ryan Reynolds has stretched out a couple times. He was in the remake of Amityville, the Amityville Horror.
And that is a very, very underrated performance.
Yes. And he sincerely, he's got the chops. He can do it. Can we please put him in something where he's not playing fucking Deadpool again? And Gal Gadot, same thing. Yes, we know she's Wonder Woman. We get it. We've seen it. Yes, we understand. But she is an attractive woman, and if you watch that first Wonder Woman movie, she's not just, oh, look, I'm quirky and I'm fun and I'm walking out. No, there's some depth to that role. She has the chops. Let her act, for fuck's sake. She is an actress. She's not just a pretty girl that happens to be really good while you're flying her around a stage or a set on wires. You know, she can do more than learn the stunt choreography for a fight scene. So, and that's what this movie really missed. And this kind of, I didn't care about any of the characters because I knew nothing bad was ever going to happen to any of them. There was no stakes in any of this. And the mystery historically, it's kind of bullshit. And I knew that it was kind of bullshit. So I'm not going to lie. They kind of lost me at the intro with the whole 3 eggs thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, at that point, I was like, oh, we're doing a National Treasure movie here. Or, you know, I'm not going to say that it was Indiana Jones because it wasn't that smart or interesting or entertaining. But here's why Raiders works.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Before you dive in real quick, I kind of wanted the same thing too when I first went into. It's like, I wonder how much this 3 eggs bullshit is just that bullshit.
Oh.
And here is where you made a left and I made a right, depending on how you're looking at the screen here. I made the right. I went to I know this is pure fucking bullshit. I'm just gonna go along for the fucking ride. You right off the bat, it's like, this is not fucking accurate. Fuck you, fucking film, and check the fuck out.
That's a long distance call, Doug.
Hang on. How close am I to that? How much did that one aspect just say, fuck you, I already made up my mind?
Well, the minute that they brought up Mark Antony and Cleopatra, and then it was like, what the fuck is this shit y'all are babbling on about? No. That was when, and it was like literally, Wikipedia is a thing. If you're gonna write a fucking script, at least read about it. Don't just watch the Elizabeth Taylor fucking movie that almost destroyed 20th Century Fox back in the day. Be bothered. You know what? I'll give you a shortcut. Just go and get HBO's Rome and watch the 2nd season, which covers it in amazingly accurate detail, historically speaking. And that should be enough. But this whole bullshit about, he made a bunch of eggs. The fuck?
So yes, so I was correct. That one little aspect just ruined it for you right off the bat.
It definitely tainted it. I was still willing to give it a go, but here's what really ruined it for me. You're going to tell me that you're going to have this priceless 2,000-year-old artifact in a museum, and it is completely open on all sides. There's no security in the room. There's not like a glass case that's like covering it. Just sitting right out there in the open so that somebody could just walk in and pick it up and grab it. And that's obviously what happened. And at that point, I was just kind of like, oh, we're in Dumbsville. Oh, well, it's got infrared and thermo. You know what really makes a historic an artifact really secure? Putting a bulletproof case over it. People are supposed to see it. You're not supposed to touch the fucking thing. You're supposed to be able to go and study it and look at it and admire it and whatnot. You don't get to go to the museum and fucking poke the mummies. All right. So just saying, like, we went to the St. Louis Art Museum when they had a traveling Egypt exhibit of a city that sank into the Mediterranean, 2,000 years ago. Everything in that was not necessarily priceless, at least in a golden jeweled sense. None of them was tied to Mark Antony or Cleopatra. But you know what you couldn't do? You couldn't touch any of it. All right. It was all in big glass cases. And that right there. And here's the other thing, too. This was supposed to be in Rome. You're going to tell me that they don't protect their antiquities better than that, especially this priceless one of three objects? That was like the part when I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, this is like they wanted to make a Michael Bay movie, but they couldn't afford Michael Bay. And this is what we got. That's how this movie struck me, as Michael Bay light, and they took all the wrong lessons from Michael Bay movies. So yeah, it's
Yeah. I knew from the cast what we were gonna get, because let's face it, with those three people, you're not gonna get a serious movie. You're gonna get, Fast and Furious style stuff or some sort of silly comedy, and here we kind of landed like right in between. It was a mixture of the two. There's silly action scenes and silly humor, and it is what it is.
Here's how I knew that this was not going to be that great of a film. It has The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot in it, and I had never heard of it. The fact that you have these three power players, I mean, these are people that demand paychecks that most people will not earn in their lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you mentioned this movie, and I was like, what the hell is that? that right there told me everything I need to know. So I don't think that like Netflix was all like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to do this. I think it was just kind of like one of those, the studios don't want to release it. What do we do? Anybody know anybody at Netflix? They're buying movies.
I think this is a Netflix original, bud.
Is it?
I think so.
Any way you want to cut it, it's still pretty weak ass sauce. I heard more about Squid Games than I heard about this.
Well, Squid Games has also been on for a while too.
I heard more about the Great British Baking Show season 9 than I heard about this.
I stand corrected. It was going to be released by Universal. It's actually supposed to be released like in 2019 or some shit like that. But I guess the COOF put the kibosh on that, so Netflix bought it.
Look, here's what I hope. I hope Dwayne The Rock Johnson is been cast as Black Adam. The teaser trailer dropped for DC Fandom a couple weeks back. It looks amazing. And it's the first time that The Rock isn't playing The Rock that I've ever seen. And I am holding out hope that Dwayne Johnson actually acts. Honestly, I was bored through most of this. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I was literally sitting there going, because I knew that there was no stakes. What made Raiders of the Lost Ark work is that even though Harrison Ford is the good guy, he almost dies multiple times, and he fails just as much as he succeeds. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it has stakes. There's repercussions. You know that he's going to win at the end, but you're not exactly sure how. Mm-hmm. And this one, it's so by the numbers. It's so phoned in. It's such a lazy script, and
I don't think it was all that bad. I mean, again, it's silly, it's goofy. But they fail a lot too. Gal Gadot is the best of these characters through most of the movie. And even at the end, there's a twist at the end I didn't see coming. It got me. I'm not ashamed to admit it. They got me. Hang on, let me finish. You've been talking for 15 minutes. Let me finish. But see, now I lost track. But yeah, they got me, and I'm not ashamed to admit that they got me. I didn't see that little twist coming. I don't mind it. Again, is it a good movie? Not particularly, but it's fun enough. It is what it is. And don't get me wrong, if I probably caught this on a normal night, I'd probably be sitting on your side of the fence. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. It caught me in the right mood. But it really did. So am I gonna rewatch this? Probably not. No. But I think for our average people who are not, super critical about films, watch it. You'll have a good time, especially with your family. You'll have fun with it. If you're serious about your films, you're probably not going to dig it. You're going to be over here with Tony and not give two shits about it. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. It's not that I hated it. It's not that it's just, I don't know. It's just there. I mean, at the end of the whole thing, it's not like I don't like these actors, and it's not like but it just it's empty calories is really what it all boils down to. It is.
Well, yeah, that's what it is designed to do.
If you're gonna watch a spy thriller or watch the Thomas Crown Affair, it's a better take on this exact sort of thing. It's an art heist that's kind of fun and cool and different and smart, and that's kind of like the part of this that withholding information from the audience and not letting it out until it's poignant within the course of the story, that doesn't prove that your characters are smart or that you're writing a smart thriller. That just proves that you're withholding shit. The best thrillers, the best mysteries that unfold are the ones that it's all there in front of you the whole time, and then at the end you're like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. That kind of beat me over the head with that. That was kind of great. This lacks that. I don't know. It has all the elements to make a really good stew, but something just didn't happen when they made it. I guess that's the best way I can.
Well, I know what it was for you.
I don't find it offensive, but I don't find it entertaining either.
Right. Well, again, I know exactly what it is. It's not a serious movie.
No, it's not even that. It has nothing to do with the tone. I'm perfectly okay with the tone of the film.
Well, serious meaning in that, there, like you said, there's no stakes, there's no this, there's no that. There's, it's not strictly adult fare. It's made for the family. It's just silly family popcorn fun.
I'm going to say that it is most definitely a popcorn film, and it is. I'm going to say that this is a film that was specifically made for fans of The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gadot. Anyway, but this is a film that was basically made to cater to the fans of those three. Sure. And that's really the best I got for you on this one. If you're a fan of The Rock, if you're a fan of Ryan Reynolds, if you're a fan of Gal Gadot, click it, watch it. If you're not like, ooh, I love these people, skip it. That's the best recommendation I can give you on this one.
I already gave my thoughts 5 minutes ago, so we're done.
So what are we watching next?
So next we're going to review The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, fair enough. All right. Well, we will catch you next time on Tony Rambles and Mike patiently listens. Quickly and dirtily.
See you guys in the next video.